Physical media man, physical media man, physical media man. What'd you buy? Was it something good?
What's up, guys? Physical Media Man back here again for another Physical Media Man Monday video. I have my wife here for August monthly movie reviews. We watched most of these together, so we'll get her thoughts too. Before I get started, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave feedback, do all that good stuff down below. I'll leave the links to my Instagram page, my Physical Media Man Store Instagram page, my Facebook page for the Physical Media Man / Physical Media Man Store, my Facebook page for non-mutilated items to Hodgepodge Garage, my email, my eBay, my Twitter, and my Letterboxd account. So yeah, we got 11 titles for the month of August, pretty good. Start off with one that I watched by myself. We got Jean-Claude Van Damme and The Quest. Reoccurring theme here, watching some Jean-Claude by myself. This one came out in 1996. It's an hour and 35 minutes. This is Jean-Claude's directorial debut. He only directed 2 films. This was the first one, and this one's the higher rated of the 2, IMDb rating wise. Roger Moore stars as Lord Dobbs, and Jean-Claude is, I don't know what his name is in here, Christopher? Yeah, Christopher Dubois, and it starts out, he's like helping these kids in New York, and then he goes to Tibet, and he's a criminal basically, and Roger Moore is kind of a bad guy, and he's Lord Dobbs, but he's really a con man, and takes Jean-Claude with him, and Jean-Claude like thinks he's helping him, but somehow along the lines it gets to be like a fighting competition, and Jean-Claude's the star. And yeah, so like I feel like all his movies where there's like instead of just a regular plot, the ones that have the fighting competitions always seem so much better. I don't know why, but oh, and it also has Jack McGee from Rescue Me. He's the chief in Rescue Me, the TV show. He's like with Roger Moore's character, Lord Dobbs. But I thought this one was pretty good. I'm going to give it 3 stars. Definitely going to keep this one. And one of the better ones, I feel like, and like I said, all the ones that have the fighting competitions, I feel like are the best Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. All right, so next up, we watched the Kino Lorber release of, Fletch with Chevy Chase. He's an investigative reporter. It's kind of like a detective type of movie. So I had watched both of these, and you had never seen them, correct?
Right.
So this one came out in 1985. It's an hour and 38 minutes. Chevy obviously is Fletch. You also have Gina Davis as Larry. She was pretty good in it. Didn't have a huge role, but her scenes were enjoyable. George Wendt from Cheers. He plays Fat Sam. Tim Matheson plays the villain, Alan Stanwyck. So that's the guy. So at the beginning of the movie, he is trying to kind of uncover a drug problem in Los Angeles, and this guy comes up to him and basically asks him to kill him. And he doesn't really explain why, or I think he says he's dying and he wants his wife to get the insurance money or something weird. So it also has...
Yeah, he goes to Fletch to tell him to kill him.
Yeah. Oh, and that Alan Stanwyck, that character, or the guy that played Alan Stanwyck is the actor. He was also in Up the Creek and Animal House. So he's pretty good in it. And then Emmett Walsh is in it too, who's always usually pretty good. Dana Wheeler Nicholson plays the female lead in this one, which I don't really remember her in anything else, but good story. His humor's, I don't know, he has almost his own type of
I
humor.
love it. I love Chevy Chase's humor.
So it was pretty good. I'll give it 3 stars. So
Oh, 3?
yeah,
I would have given it more. It was really enjoyable. I like because it's short and sweet. It did, did the job. Very entertaining. I think if you know what you're getting into with Chevy Chase, you're gonna get a good movie, and it's just gonna be enjoyable and fun. Just fun.
And then
I would give 3.5.
Yeah, and then next up we watched Fletch Lives, the sequel. So this one came out 4 years later, 1989. This one's an hour and 35 minutes, so about the same runtime. They were both directed actually by Michael Ritchie. Julianne Phillips plays the female lead. Also has Hal Holbrook, who you'd probably recognize, and Arlie Ermy in it as well. So this one, it acknowledges the first one. There's not very many carryover besides Chevy. And he has inherited this mansion or
property.
like plantation place in Louisiana or somewhere. Yeah, Louisiana. 80-acre Louisiana plantation. He inherited from his aunt, and so he meets this attorney and then kind of woos her, but then she ends up dead, and he tries to figure out what's going on and why everyone kind of seems to want this plantation area, and some like religious group is involved as well. I think I like the first one better a little bit. This one's still good. There's still some pretty funny moments. I think they kind of do a spoof on Zippity Doodah or something like that. That was kind of funny. So giving this one 3 too, but I definitely like both of these movies, and we'll probably revisit them along the lines at some point. So
that was the 3. The first one was 3.5. That's kind of what I would do. You kind of forgot to mention, like, Chevy he's like undercover a lot, so he's always playing a different character, and that's like the best part, because that's his kind of funniness, right?
Yeah.
And he's kind of always doing that, and I always think about like Saturday Night Live, his original stuff, but those are the best parts because he's playing like different characters, and he's in disguise, kind of, and it's really fun.
Yeah. All right. Next up, another one by myself. We got John Claude in Street Fighter.
I feel like you've watched Street Fighter a ton. I don't know. Why does this feel like the same movie you watched like 100 times?
First time I watched it, I felt like I put it in our selection.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
he gives me like a stack. Okay, pick from this stack.
You never pick Street Fighter.
I never pick any John Claude movie.
Well,
they're all the same.
This one came out in 1994. That's an hour and 42 minutes, directed by Stephen E. DeSuarez. John Claude plays Colonel Guy. It's also Raul Julian, who you'd recognize. He's the main character in the Addams Family, the live-action movies from the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
He's a really good actor. He plays Bison, and it's his last film. He passed away, I think, even before it maybe premiered. And he is really good in it. John Claude, on the other hand, is
John Claude.
If you read the trivia, he was addicted to cocaine at the time, and he was absolute bear, I guess, to work with on this movie. And he's in it here and there, and I don't know, it just kind of all over the place. I feel like there could be a good movie there, but it just really didn't work for me. But I'm giving it 2 stars. Like I said, Raul's performance, he's really good. Yeah, see, here's...
Yeah.
But yeah, giving it 2 stars. I don't know if I'll get rid of it or not, but it is part of the video game collection, movie collection, and the John Claude collection, but definitely one of the lesser John Claude movies I've watched. So, all right, next up we went to the movie theater and watched Twisters. So 2024 film, 2 hours and 2 minutes. directed by Lee Isaac Chung. Glenn Powell is the lead of Tyler. Daisy Edgar Jones plays Kate, the female lead. The original came out in 1996, so a decent amount of time between the two. I also want to mention the music was pretty good. Supporting cast was pretty good as well. And I really enjoyed it. Doesn't really mention the original too much. There's just a couple kind of callbacks. But I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. So it's somewhat similar to the original, but different story. Obviously does with the tornadoes and everything, but going to give it 3.5, and I had a lot of fun watching it at the movie theater.
Oh, I give it a total 4. Okay, maybe a little more. Only because I think I'm so nostalgic. I loved Twister, like the original Twister, and they really didn't. I'm glad they didn't, because I love Twister so much that this needed to be its own thing, and it is. It's totally its own thing. The only thing that's the same is that they're chasing twisters, right? So I thought this was so fun. I just love Glenn Powell right now. He's kind of like the guy doing all the they're all like rom-coms kind of, but also like movies that are fun and entertaining. He's in the one that's, oh no, am I thinking of, who else is in the one that's the new Fletch, right? They did a remade Fletch.
That's John Hamm.
Oh, that's right. Well, anyway, John Glenn. I really like, not John Glenn. Glenn Powell, sorry. But anyway, I really like him. Super fun. Really good movie. I thought it was a great runtime. And the girl, her character was like just this badass girl. It was really good. So I loved it.
Yeah. All right. So then next up, we watched Look Who's Talking. Came out in 1989. 1 hour and 33 minutes. Directed by Amy Heckerling. John Travolta plays James, who's a cab driver who picks up Kirstie Alley's character, Molly. Can't read my writing. Molly. Picks up Molly, who's pregnant, and takes her to the hospital and kind of takes care of her. She had gotten pregnant from her boss, and then her boss was with somebody else and was married, and it was a whole thing. So, and then George Segal plays Albert, who was her boss. And then I thought that what really made the movie for me was Bruce Willis as the voice of Mikey, and he's pretty great. So
the voice of the baby.
Yeah, the baby. The baby's born, and then
you like hear the baby's thoughts the whole time.
And it's Bruce Willis talking, and it's great. So I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It was definitely a lot of fun to watch that one. So
I give it more too. Because again, this is a mistake. I loved it back when I watched it.
For me.
Yeah, I loved it when I watched it back then. It's it's definitely an 80s movie, but so good, so entertaining. I love Travolta and Kirstie Alley, both of them together, and then they did a couple, right? Look Who's Talking Now, and then there's another one.
Yeah,
maybe.
there's 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Yeah. But anyway, I really liked it. It just brought back all the memories. Super fun, super enjoyable. Love triangle situation, and then the baby talking is just so fun. Like, you hear the baby's thoughts. It's cute. And after having babies, I think it makes it even more fun, actually, now.
All right. Next up, we watched The Fall Guy. This came out in 2024, 2 hours and 6 minutes. Directed by David Leitch, who also directed Bullet Train, and definitely kind of had similar vibes, and both very enjoyable. Ryan Gosling stars as Colt Seavers. So this was also a TV show that was also the same character name of the main character. Emily Blunt is Jody Marino, and Aaron Taylor Johnson plays Tom Ryder, who was in Kick-Ass. He was pretty good. So Ryan Gosling is the Fall Guy stunt man for Tom Ryder. It also has Hannah Weddingham. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. She plays Gail Meyer. She was one of the main characters on Ted Lasso. She's pretty good in it too. Ryan Gosling plays Tom Ryder, stuntman. He gets hurt at the beginning of the movie, and might not ever be a stuntman again, but he's also in love with Emily Blunt, and it kind of becomes like a detective movie somewhat, and it's really action-packed. I don't want to say too much else to ruin anything, but really enjoyed this one. Definitely plan on trying to get a physical copy if I can get it cheap here at some point, but I'll definitely give it a 3.5, and like I said, really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I think that's fair. A little long run time, just a hair. Like it could have ended.
You fell asleep.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did. I fell asleep during the one, but this one was so good. I didn't want to fall asleep. Like I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I think it could have been a little less runtime, but the action was really good. I love how the music went with it. Like you're right, it kind of followed that Bullet Train vibe, and it was really good.
All right. Next up, we watched Confess Fletch, which came out in 2022. 1 hour and 38 minutes, directed by Greg Mottola. John Hamm plays Fletch. Kyle MacLachlan plays Ronald Horan. And also has Caitlin Zara Rose as the female lead. So Fletch, same character as the Chevy Chase movies. This came out in 2022. I did think it was near as good. He doesn't really do the... so he's the same... He's a newspaper reporter or investigative reporter at one point, and he's no longer that. But then he kind of gets roped back into a scenario where he has to use those skills again. But he doesn't really dress up or do anything like that. It was kind of maybe a better plot-wise movie.
Yes.
But he didn't have the same comedy that Chevy Chase had. And he
didn't bring the same comedy to the character.
Yeah, and he didn't do the dressing up part, which was one of the better parts of the original movies. So just going to give that one a 2.5. I don't plan on trying to pick it up or anything. Somewhat glad I watched it, but
yeah,
like I said, glad I didn't buy it. So
fair.
All right, next up, we watched Airborne, part of the Warner Archive collection. This only has a DVD. If you're interested in this, let me know. I am going to try to post it to eBay, I think, later today. But this one came out in 1993. It's 1 hour and 31 minutes, directed by Rob Bonin. Shane McDermott plays the lead, Mitchell. It's got a young Jack Black and a young Seth Green in it. And it was filmed in Cincinnati, so that was part of the reason I wanted to check this one out, which is close to us. And the young Jack Black and young Seth Green, which they were kind of enjoyable, but it follows that Shane McDermott's character, Mitchell. He's in California, big into surfing and all that, and his parents are professors or scientists or something, and they have to go to Australia or somewhere to, they got funding for some grant to do some sort of research, but they don't take him with them. They send him to Cincinnati where his aunt and uncle live, and he lives with them and their son, who's Seth Green, so they're cousins, and it's just about him fitting in Cincinnati and the transition from how much different it is from California, and he ends up like doing some rollerblading and hockey, and I just thought the ending was pretty lackluster, and I just didn't enjoy it near as much as I thought I was going to. I'll give it 2 stars. Yeah,
that's fair. I think Seth Green and Jack Black's characters were like our favorites, and they weren't the main guys, so that's what kind of wasn't as good.
All right, next up we watched Standoff / Whole Lot of Soul. It has 2 titles. Came out in 2011. It's 1 hour and 29 minutes. Directed by Terry George. Brendan Fraser plays Joe McGuire. He lives in the United States, but he goes over to, is it Ireland? I think they're in Ireland. Goes over to Ireland, I think, or somewhere overseas where his brother owns this store. So he goes over there to watch over the store. And then there's basically a lot of confusion, basically a misunderstanding. They have a standoff because this other character is in the store and they think he robbed this other place, and there's a bunch going on. It was okay, but I didn't
I don't even remember this.
Yeah, you fell asleep on this one.
I mean, I might have fallen asleep early. Like, I don't remember a lot. Sorry.
Well, you missed the whole third act, basically. I think.
Sorry.
Yeah, so there's a mob
Clearly
boss.
I wasn't interested.
This younger guy.
Usually I like kind of movies like this.
20-year-old or so. He's really struggling. He owes this mob boss, basically, that has a casino in this town, like $5,000 or something he can't come up with. And he tries to rob someplace to get the money. And, then somehow they think it was Brendan Fraser, and then this is the cop. Call him Mercy, or no, it's not have his name here. You'd recognize.
Oh yeah, I mean I know. I remember him.
Yeah, call him Meanie. I don't know if that's how you say it, but yeah, he's the cop, and he's talking to Brendan Fraser on the phone and stuff. It was just okay. Giving it 2 stars. I'm a big Brendan Fraser fan, but might get rid of it.
I definitely get rid of it. Clearly, I didn't get involved with that one.
And then lastly, you started this, but I finished it. One of the last days in August, we were flying to Texas, and I watched Bob Marley One Love on the airplane. Came out in 2024. It's an hour and 47 minutes, directed by Ronaldo Marcus Green, who also directed King Richard, so kind of another biopic, another one that was done pretty well. Kingsley Ben Adir plays Bob, who does a really good job. Lashana really Lynch plays Rita Marley. And this kind of follows like the last few years of Bob Marley's life. And the music, of course, kind of moves the plot along and everything. And I was a big Bob Marley fan, still am, but especially in high school, read his book and really enjoyed his music. And I kind of remembered a lot of the story, but not all of it. And I kind of remembered the ending, but I don't remember exactly like what happened and why. But I thought it was done really, really well, and I definitely want to pick this one up at some point too. Giving it 3 stars.
Yeah, I think it was really good. It's depressing, but I think I needed to know a little bit more backstory. I mean, I knew his life was a lot of turmoil and a lot of, like turmoil in the country that he lived in and in their way of life and things like that. So it was very interesting. And I just didn't finish it because I didn't fall asleep. We had to get off the plane and I didn't finish it in time. So I do need to finish it. But again, Joe kind of filled me in because it's just more of a autobiography. And I knew kind of the ending. So, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Give it fair rating.
Okay. All right. Well, that's everything we watched for the month of August. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you haven't yet done so, please make sure to subscribe. And this is Physical Media Man signing off. Physical Media will never die.
Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man.